Welcome back to another episode of Health is Wealth, and thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. And as always, I am beyond grateful and thankful from the bottom of my heart to each and every one of you who is tuning in to today's episode and also tuning in to help support the podcast, as every week I'm sharing a new episode, just sharing some words, thoughts of hopes, inspiration, and motivation in hopes that it brings value into your world today. Just sharing things that I am learning on this crazy ride and journey that we call life. So thank you once again for being here. And as you can probably tell, we're not in the normal quote-unquote podcast music room setup. Just decided to switch things up today. I really want to find maybe another room in the home. The one I've been using and I quite use frequently to do the podcast for is really just the music room, and I love it because it's a great vibe. I would love to do something a little different for the Health as Well podcast, so I'm really trying to think in my head where else I could put it. But again, just wanted to switch things up here today, doing a lot of work and stuff like that upstairs, outside, in the garage, just cleaning up some stuff since we got some nice weather. And so, again, just decided to film up here today. But what I wanted to talk about, speaking of warmer weather, is this. If you're just starting a weight loss journey, you're just starting that journey to become a healthier, version of yourself, there's so many things that we can get into as to where is a good place to start, right? But more so than anything, if you haven't started, that journey, you're just really not sure quite where, I think the best thing you can do is just start anywhere, right? And I bring this up most specifically about this. The weather is getting nicer outside, And so often we always think about just how important it is for us to exercise and stuff like that when it comes to starting that weight loss journey, right? Getting in the gym, lifting those weights and all that good stuff. And there's so many important things to always implement that into getting healthier, right? But I think most importantly, especially at the beginning process of all this, you want to have fun, right? And it's really about movement, especially at the start of all this, because that's what we really want to get, you to do. If you're just starting this journey where you recognize you would like to get a little bit healthier and, you're not quite sure exactly where to attack things in the gym and with your nutrition and that other stuff. And the best thing I could say is do something that sounds fun to you, right? Because really at the end of it all, the best thing you can start to do is just start to move. It doesn't necessarily have to be and start in the gym with weights, right? You'll get around to it, But because the weather is, a lot nicer outside, maybe there's a chance too for you to get outside, right? Enjoy, some hobbies, maybe some sports you like, something you want to pick up and learn how to do. Maybe there's something you do enjoy doing already, just haven't really made the time because you've been super busy with life. And so that's really, again, the message here today. Because it is so nice outside, I challenge you, if you're just starting that journey, get out there and do something, outdoors, right? Go for a walk, ride some bikes, It could be anything, you can go play some pickleball or tennis, right? Go shoot some hoops at the basketball court, whatever it may be. There's so many amazing things that could be done outside that, again, will give you that exercise. And there's so many other benefits to just being outside, from the fresh air to the vitamin D from the sun, plus just enjoying, everything that there is to enjoy and appreciate outside, right? The scenery, the people, just things going on around us out there. For me, I'm very, very excited that the warmer weather is here, as I'm going to get ready to get some air in my mountain bikes and get those out. We have the kayak. I'm excited about getting the kayak up in the mountains on the reservoir and go for a couple laps up there. And then, just find other things just to be outside. And so again, as much as I love actual workouts and exercise too, exercise just doesn't have to be the weights. And that's the bigger thing behind this too. always got to make things fun, always got to find things to enjoy. And that's why it's a great idea to find things that you might like, because it's really about movement on any fitness journey, on any kind of weight loss journey. The whole idea is to move a little bit more to really get you started going in the right direction. And it's a part of the journey and part of the process too. You know, as much as I love weights and I love gym, you know, I also love, you know, sports as well, and hobbies and things like that also are exercise and movement and things of that, going for hikes and so forth, right? And so, you know, again, if you're just starting, you know, find something maybe outdoors for you to do. And I think it's one of the best ways for you to start, you know, kind of getting your feet wet a little bit, right? You don't have to dive into the deep end already and start hitting the gym and going to work out with the weights and all that. Again, you'll get there, you know, but with the weather that's nicer outside, this could be a good chance for you to pick up a new hobby, or again, maybe pick up something you just haven't really had the time to do, because the key thing here is just moving. And anytime you can do any kind of movement, you know, that forces you to exert yourself a little bit, then it's great. Again, whether that's, you know, going for a walk or going for a bike ride or going for a hike, you know, going to play some basketball or pickleball or tennis, go for a swim. All of those things are just absolutely amazing. And, you know, you find when you start to do those things, incorporate things that are fun, you know, then it motivates you to really want to get going on this journey and process even more so. And then, you know, you just continue to add those things as part of it, right? Cardio doesn't necessarily just have to be the treadmill or you know, the bicycle, right? The spin cycle thing in the gym or stuff like that, right? You can also do stuff outside that you know, elevates your heart rate to an extent. So just something I wanted to share with you, because again, the nice weather is here. And if you're starting to, you know, that journey of yours to become healthier, you're starting that weight loss journey, I think the best place you can do is just start moving more than you are already. And I think the best way that you can do that is find something you enjoy doing that can get you maybe outside, right? To get some of that fresh air. And then you kind of just start there and build off of that. Remember, you know, it's a long process. It's a journey. None of getting into this is supposed to be getting it all figured out at once. And like I said, especially because there could be so much, it could be daunting, it could be overwhelming. And the thing is not to scare anybody away from this journey that's going to better you in every which way possible, but to invite you further in, you know, to continue that journey. And I think the best way to do it is just to start off slow and small, right? A little bit at a time. And I think that is the ultimate best way to get yourself going, right? Because we have to just find that traction just to get the ball rolling in the right direction. And I think if you're new to this journey, you're just starting, there's no better way I could think of than making it fun, right? Because at the end, it's all got to be fun. It's got to be enjoyable, because that's the way you're going to adhere to this journey of becoming a healthier version of yourself. So get out there today, you know, again, if you're starting this journey, find something, you know, that's fun to you, maybe something you've done, haven't done in a while, or something new you want to try that gets you physically active outdoors, you know, to really get that journey of yours going. And if you have any questions or you need help at all, just getting started in the right direction, please, please, please let me know. I'm always more than happy to get you going, maybe pointed in the right direction, or come up with some ideas of some things that you could try to do as you just get started on this. So as always, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you on the next one.